Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Getting Real About Self-Care. I'm Dr. Ajmani, and today I'm going to be joined by Dr. Nana Korsah. We're running into a bit of technical difficulties today, so I'm hoping she's going to be able to join us here soon. In the meantime, Dr. Nana Korsah, just to introduce you to her, she is a physician, she's a financial life coach, all-around amazing person, and I'm so excited to have her on today. And if we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Ajmani. I'm a pediatrician. I am an Ayurveda lifestyle consultant and a yoga instructor. And so I've been putting together these Getting Real About Self-Care episodes, and I'm going to be having more to come soon, where I like to bring on guests and who can share their stories of their journeys with self-care. And so Dr. Korsah is just this amazing, beautiful person, and she's going to share her story with us too. And a big part of her story has to do with financial freedom. And I am just so excited about this topic. It looks like she just joined us, so I am going to try to invite her to join us on this video. And while I'm doing that, go ahead and please leave a comment for me. Let me know where you're listening from. And I'm going to try to invite her in. Let's see. All right, Dr. Gotten a request. She should be joining us soon. And so while she's joining us, again, just let me know where you're listening from, and if you have any questions throughout this episode, be sure to just throw those in the comments too. All right, so while we're waiting for her to join, I am going to go ahead and start sharing with you exactly why I am so excited about this topic. I'm so excited about this topic because self-care. Hi, here's Dr. Korsah.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Good, perfect.
Great. I'm so glad we figured this out. Technology can be a bit tricky sometimes.
Absolutely. Good times.
Yes. Well, I was just introducing you. I just introduced you as a physician, a financial life coach, and I was just expressing how excited I am to have you join us here today on this episode of Getting Real About Self-Care. And I'm excited I've heard your story on other podcasts, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, but I'm excited for my listeners to hear your story as well. And, you know, I'm especially excited that we're talking about financial freedom because it's something that when you hear about self-care, financial freedom or finances may not be the first thing that you think of. And so I'm just so excited to bring light to this today. Is there anything else you'd like to say about that so far, or just to introduce yourself?
Well, thank you. As you said, I'm a physician, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a financial and a life coach, and I'm super excited to be here, and thanks for working with me. I know it took a while to get on here, and today hasn't been the easiest start, so I'm glad that we get to start. Now, I love what you do, and I always tell my clients, like, self-care is a foundation for everything. Mm-hmm. And we are our biggest assets, right?
Absolutely.
If you're not healthy and you don't take care of yourself, then forget everything else. So it is so important. And as women, we need to do a better job of taking care of ourselves, since we're our biggest asset, and we're a big asset to our families and, our workplace and for our business itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we go any further, I, of course, want to just throw out there that today we're not giving any medical advice. And for any sort of financial advice, we always recommend, you talk to your financial advisor and that sort of thing. But absolutely right on target, Dr. Korsah. As women, we're such givers by nature. And so taking that time to kind of tune in and see how we're feeling and take care of ourselves is just so important.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wanted to actually start off, as I mentioned, I'm a yoga instructor and Ayurveda consultant, and I just mentioned, we just talked a little bit about how this topic is so exciting to me because it's not something that we often think about with self-care, but it is a part of it. And I just wanted to bring it into some context here as well, from the yoga perspective, and then I want to get into hearing your story and your journey.
Absolutely.
So actually, yoga philosophy talks about how everyone has these 4 desires in life. And that first desire is dharma. And what dharma is, it's to fulfill your life's purpose, your life's mission. And that could be in career or not. That could be
Yeah.
volunteering, that could be raising your family, right? And then the second desire that yoga philosophy says that everyone has is called artha. And that is the means to fulfill your desires. And that's where I see the finances come in. That's things like finances, self-care, having your own health in order, having a healthy body, having those supporting relationships in your life, your family, your friends. The third desire is kama, pleasure. We all seek to enjoy life. And then the fourth is moksha, which is spiritual development and enlightenment. So I just wanted to kind of give that little perspective of from this ancient philosophy of yoga and Ayurveda. It distinctly talks about how finances fit into that second desire of artha, of having those means to fulfill our divine purpose. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because, like Dr. Korsah, we were just talking about, as women, we tend to, and in many of the other kind of circles that I've walked in, spiritual circles, yoga teachers, as a woman, as a physician, as an entrepreneur, in many of these circles, I find that we kind of don't want to talk about the money part. Like, we just want to give, right? And we kind of don't spend as much time focusing on that money part. But that is important. And that is actually can be considered part of our practices, because it's through that we can give more fully in our life. Anything you
Absolutely.
want to add to that?
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to wellness, having our personal finances in order helps us to have peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have peace of mind, you feel free and liberated to try out things that you love, to go out there and explore and find your purpose and live it without worrying about money. So my big thing is get your money right, and that will liberate you to live the life of your dreams.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, then you could be pursuing your dreams, but feeling broke and distraught. And I've been there, done that. Not a fun place to be. Because my main passion was work-life balance. Let's do it right. However, if you have all the time and the balance in the world, and you feel broke, which unfortunately a lot of physicians are in that position, it's a tough place to be. So it's good to have a plan as to where you want to go financially, have your main goal, and have annual goals and monthly and daily goals that will help move you towards where you're trying to get to. Now, you don't have to be financially independent where you have passive income coming in that can pay all your bills to feel liberated. You just have to work on the mindset and have a plan. Come from a place of abundance, knowing that you will always have enough, and the plan you have in place will help you get where you're trying to get to. So that's very important. So if you want to take care of yourself, take care of your money, and then free yourself to go for what you want without worrying about money.
I love that. I love so much of what you just said. I mean, it's a mindset and a plan, right?
Yes. Yes.
You need both. You need that
Absolutely.
abundance mindset. You need to come and start from that place of abundance. And then you also need the plan. You need both. And I love how you tied both of those together.
Thank you. I totally agree. I mean, if you get your mind right and you don't act, nothing happens. But if you do both,
Right.
something happens. Yeah. Plus, if you have a plan and you don't believe you can achieve that plan, then you're not motivated to do it. But if you have a plan and you believe you can do it, then you go out and you self-experiment until you get what you want.
Right.
For
Right.
sure. Yeah. But I think to getting your money right is good self-care because it helps liberate you to go out there and explore and have fun and do what you want, right?
And
So,
also, once you start working on it, like we talked about having the abundance mindset and a plan,
yes,
once you start really cultivating that abundance mindset, that does translate over to your finances, but that also carries over into all other parts of your life, doesn't it? I mean, have you seen that?
I have seen that. I agree. My personal journey started this way. 4 years ago, I was that burnt out physician who did not know what to do. And I was working 180 to 100-hour work weeks. I had two little children and a husband who went back to school. So my typical day was like get up at 5:30, get kids to daycare, and then come home late at night, hide in a closet, dictate my notes. I was, I literally burnt myself out, and I knew something had to change. So one day I was in the car and driving to a hospital, and Dave Ramsey came on the radio, and he was coaching a woman who was like 60, had no financial nest egg for retirement, and he coached her, and she left that call feeling hopeful. That gave me hope. And then I had my aha moment, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is what I need to do. I need to get my money in order so I can live life on my own terms. So I started off that way, and then I started reading and listening to more podcasts. And all the entrepreneurs out there said, if you want to be entrepreneurial, number one, you have to take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. So how Elrod's book, The Miracle Morning, was the book that I kind of used as a template to do that because I was a newbie. I had no idea. And I also heard that on a podcast. So then I started, and he has an acronym called S.A.V.E.R.S. And being physicians, we love acronyms and mnemonics, right? So
Yep.
S.A.V.E.R.S, that's what I'm going to do. And so S for silence, which is like prayer and meditation. A for affirmations, V for visualization. That took me a while to get to, but I'm finally there, and I'm glad I learned to do that. And then E for exercise, R for reading positive things, and S for scribing, which is like journaling. So by exploring my finances, it also led me to finding out that if I want to do that, I need to take care of myself. So the funny thing is, when I started taking care of myself by exercising, journaling, doing all those things, I had much more mental clarity, and my energy was much better, and I was able to focus and improve my finances. So I kind of found out by self-care through personal finance, but it turns out that's the foundation I needed to fully go out there and do what I need to do, because we need energy, we need vitality, we need health, we need mental clarity. And you can't have all of that if you don't take care of yourself, right? If you're tired all the time, you can't really go out there and live the life of your dreams, right? So you got to take care of yourself. And I love what you do, because like yoga and meditation, that's something I never thought I would do. But now I find out it just, if I start up my day by exercising and meditating, I feel fantastic. So nobody has to tell me to do it. I just do it. So self-experimentation and trying these things out for those who are out there who don't believe in self-care, just try things out. And take note of how you feel on the days when you exercise, you meditate, you do yoga. Take note of how your energy level is. Keep track of it, and nobody will tell you to do it again. You're just going to do it yourself because you see the results for yourself. That's what happened to me.
Exactly. Wow, I love everything that you just said. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful, all of it. So,
Thank
so
you.
many things. I mean, for one thing, and I've talked about this with other guests as well, how so often in people's self-care journeys, it's so interesting. You have to kind of hit that rock bottom. And I know that was the
Yes.
case for me as well. You know, you kind of hit this rock bottom and you're like, something has to change. I need to find something. Um, and and then you start doing that self-experimentation, like you said, and you start trying different things out. And it doesn't always have to be that you hit rock bottom, but in many self-care stories, that's what I see. And that's part of why I'm making this, to help other women, and not just women, women and men, to not have to hit that rock bottom before you start finding these self-care tools, right? Um,
Absolutely.
but then once you start experimenting, what you see is really kind of finding that space to open up for you. That's something I heard in your story. You know, you really started kind of taking care of yourself, and then space started to open up where you could have some mental clarity, and then that led you to looking at the finances as a route. Um, and I also loved what you said about kind of experiment and just see how you feel. So, you know, like you mentioned, kind of see how you feel on those days that you are doing those things, the exercise, the meditation, the yoga, whatever it may be. For me, in my own journey, I can say that I started meditating because it was required of me through a yoga teacher training program.
Well,
And and it was really, really hard for me at first. And where I noticed the biggest difference was the days that I missed it. Like I was doing it every day, and then if I would miss a day, I was like, something feels off. I don't feel as
yes.
centered. I don't feel as grounded. So sometimes that's where you maybe notice like this tool, this activity, this meditation is, or exercise, whatever it is for you, is really helping me. And then just like you said, Dr. Korsah, then you don't want to leave it. You want to do it every day.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's fascinating that you kind of experimented, maybe initially unwillingly, but then you found out it works for you, so nobody has to tell you to do it anymore. That's
Right.
why it's so good to explore and see how things work. And I'm the same way. If I don't exercise for 3 days in a row, I feel like, why, what is wrong with me? Something is not right. I'm like, yeah, well, I haven't exercised, so I go exercise, right?
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
that helps me, yeah. So there is proof. If you try it, you will feel the effects of it. And then that's enough proof for me. But also, like, on my self-education, I do a lot of self-education, podcasts, YouTube videos, reading. And last year, my big thing was, how can I take my game to the next level on mindset? And I was reading all these books and how to reprogram your mind and how to make money with your mind, whatever, you name it. And every single one of the books that I read said meditation. So I was like, that's a no-brainer. All these high
Wow.
achievers meditate. So I decided I'm going to do it twice a day. Why not?
Wow. So
So,
I'd love to hear, what do you do when you meditate? Because you know there's so many different ways to meditate. You know, mindfulness, which is like
yeah.
meditation in daily life, is a meditation. Some people will sit, you know, in a certain same spot every day and meditate. I'm just curious because it sounds like you recently started this practice.
Yeah. So it's not a perfect practice, but it works.
No one's
And
is. I'll put that
exactly.
out there too. No one has a
Yeah.
perfect meditation practice, but it helps.
So, yes. So my journey started with, I think 3 years ago, I tried Headspace. I used the guided meditations. So I tried Headspace and gave me a headache. Weird, right? So I stopped doing it. And then I discovered a podcast called Sip and Om.
Mm.
And she teaches is a daily podcast, and she teaches meditation. She's also a yoga teacher like yourself. And every day she does a different meditation. And it's usually short, like 10 minutes or less. And she's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it, try it. And she's like, you can even walk, and you don't have to have a cushion or whatever. Just do it any way you want to. So I started doing it. She liberated me to try it on my own terms. And it worked. And then she has walking meditation. So I go for my walks. Even like at work, if I get a quick break, I take a walking meditation walk. And it just it's so freeing. It gets my mind all cleared up and I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready to, conquer my day and keep my energy up. So that's why I started. And then one of my clients told me about the Calm app.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried it out and I loved it. And now I tell all my clients to
Mm-hmm.
get that app. Now, some of my clients are advanced, more advanced than me. So they're like, oh, that's boring. We don't want to do it. So they don't
Mm-hmm.
have to. But for all the newbies like myself, I
Mm-hmm.
think guided meditation is a good gateway into it because if you try to meditate on your own without much experience, it could be hard. But with a guided
Mm-hmm.
meditation, you just follow the instructions. Walking meditation is a good way to start if you don't want to sit down. It's
Mm-hmm.
just beautiful. Yeah. So
I agree
that's what I've been
completely.
doing.
I agree completely. I mean, when I started out, I was doing a lot of guided meditations as well, and now I've been practicing it for goodness now 9 years. So now I just sit and I can drop into a kind of a meditative space. But I agree for anyone if you're just starting out with meditation or you have never even tried it but you want to, based on what me and Dr. Korsah are talking about right now, guided meditations are really, really helpful. And there's so many resources out there. Like you mentioned a few, Headspace, Calm. I actually just recommended Calm to one of my patients recently. I have not heard of this podcast, so I'm excited to check it out. Sip and Ohm podcast.
Yes.
So I'm excited to check that out as well. And I think it's really a beautiful point that I'd like to share with with you listening is that often people think that meditation is just sitting in one place, trying to be still and trying to stop all your thoughts. But really, meditation can be almost anything. You can make almost any activity in your daily life a meditation. Um, and so, really taking what you said, Dr. Korsah, that path of self exploration and just exposing yourself to different ways and different paths of meditating, because you can meditate while you're walking, you can meditate sitting, you can meditate laying down. There's so many different ways. So I think that was very beautiful. Thank you for taking us on that journey that you took.
You're welcome. And it's been a rewarding journey, and I highly recommend it for everyone. Sip
Mm-hmm.
and Om is free. You can check it out. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a great place to start. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Well, let's continue with your journey. So you said that you went from working 80 to 100-hour work weeks. You have your two kids at home. Your husband's in school, out of state. And you decide, you stumble onto some of these podcasts. You learn about the savers, uh, techniques and tools to really start honing in on your self-care. You got some mental clarity, you got some space, and then that led you to, I believe you said, the kind of that finance realm. So kind of continue that story. Tell me where else that journey took you. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Sorry, we're just working with the technology again. No. Hmm. No, I'm not sure what happened. Let's see. Maybe we could try shutting it off and picking it right back up again. Go ahead, leave a comment for me. All right. So looks like we were having some technical difficulties with Dr. Korsah. So Dr. Korsah, if you're watching, just go ahead and let's see, we'll try to join you in again. Here you go. Let's see. So I think I can add you here. Yes. Okay, so hopefully Dr. Korsah is joining us again really soon. Sorry, sometimes we run into these technical difficulties when we do these lives, but thanks for bearing with us.
All right, I apologize for that.
No worries. Sometimes that happens. We never know what we're going to run
So,
into when we go live.
yes, good times. Yeah, I'm used to doing this on my computer, so it's quite a steep learning curve on the phone. So.
It sure is, but that's all
All
right.
right.
Yeah, so I was just asking if you could just kind of continue taking us on that journey of yours.
So when it comes to self-care, or could you?
So where we, you went through kind of working the 80 to 100-hour work weeks, finding this
Yeah.
podcast, tuning into self-care, and then that gave you some space and mental clarity where then you started to look at finances, and that started to kind of come into your self-care journey as well. So could you maybe just pick up from there?
Sure. So when I found out about the S.A.V.E.R.S way of bringing mindfulness into my life, the first thing that I did was I started exercising every day, and I felt good doing it. So I did not quit. I tested each one out individually. And then after that, I started doing affirmations, and I loved it. I program it in my phone, like, 3 times a day, different things pop up, which is always nice when your phone gives you an alert and it's a beautiful message waiting for you. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to keep that. Then I started journaling, which I never quit, because that also helped me kind of download all the negative thoughts and things that are not helpful, get it on paper and work through it that way. The meditation kind of came later because, like I said, I tried the Headspace app and got headaches, super weird, but eventually that worked out. And now I use Calm and I'm happy with it. So basically, I went down the S.A.V.E.R.S list and self-experimented and found out that worst case scenario, if I exercise and meditate, my days are much, much better. So that's how I cultivate happiness in my life, by making sure I exercise and I meditate every day, and journaling helps as well. But if I do those two things, I have excellent days, and then I have mental clarity, my energy is up, and I'm able to do a lot. And then at bedtime, I use my sleep meditation at bedtime, and that helps me go to sleep. So it's been quite a journey, and that has helped me achieve the mental alertness and the energy and the focus that I need to pursue my financial goals. Of course, you need a plan. So I came up with a blueprint that I follow, and I got out of debt, and I'm now working on my wealth building plan. I also started my business, my coaching business, which, as an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur is a roller coaster ride, just like this Facebook Live technical difficulties have been. It's a roller coaster ride, but you got to roll with the punches. And if you're learning at empty,
Exactly, you learn real fast just to go with the flow.
Yes, you can't do that. I'm like, it's a good thing I meditated today before we started. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
So,
well, I love it.
So,
I love it. I love everything that you just shared. And one other thing that I'm really picking up from you and what you've shared is that on your journey, it was trying a lot of different things, like the S.A.V.E.R.S.
Yes.
I'd love to hear what those that acronym each letter represented again. If you could just repeat
Sure.
that, because that was really great.
Yes. And that's what all my clients have to do self-care. So S is for silence. And silence has two parts to it, meditation and prayer, right? So you could do either or, and I choose to do both. I'm just greedy that way. It works, why not do it?
Exactly. This is what I'll say. Be selfish about self-care.
Yes.
Yes.
Self is in there for a reason. Make it all about yourself. It's not narcissistic. It's not. To fill your tank so you can help others.
Exactly.
If you overflow with abundance, then other people get to benefit.
Exactly. So. Exactly. We can only give from an overflowing cup. And so it's not selfish to take care of yourself and fill your cup, and knowing that from that place, you're going to be able to best serve in the world. You're going to be able to be the best mom, the best at your job, the best in your community and your family and friends, and you're going to be able to put your best out in the world with that. So beautiful. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Meditation and prayer. Exactly.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And then A is for affirmations, just positive sayings that lift you up, that helps you on your journey to getting whatever it is that you want. And there's so many ways of coming up with them. Like when I journal, I look at my negative thoughts, and I'm from the school of thought where you look at your negative thoughts and try to come up with positive thoughts to replace it. So I use those as affirmations. But whenever I get nuggets from, watching Facebook Lives or listening to podcasts or watching videos or whatever, reading books, if I like something that touches my heart, if it resonates with me, I write it down and I use that as an affirmation. So there's so many ways of using. And then next is visualization. That's one that I had a hard time doing. I used to be a black and white kind of person. And so I wasn't good at visualizing. So I had to watch a lot of Facebook lives and videos on YouTube about visualization. And that's just, if you do meditate, though, it's easier. And I think you as a yoga teacher is able to teach people how to visualize. It was hard for me, but just sitting down and then looking into the future or whatever it is that you want to do. Actually, I'll be honest
with you, that was hard for me too. I mean, being guided through visualization practices, I was able to do, but it really hasn't been until quite recently that I've been able to visualize in terms of seeing my goals and seeing my dreams and what I want for my future. And what really helped me with that was actually going to some Tony Robbins events and being led through that process there, which I know you're going to one soon as well.
I'm going in July, yes. I'm going to do the fire walk, so it's going to be so much fun.
Yes, you're going to join the Fire Walker Club.
Yes. And then E is for exercise. And for me, when I say exercise, all I do is walk on my treadmill or walk in my neighborhood. And it's not even that brisk, but it adds so much to my life. So exercise doesn't have to be crazy. Like I always say, keep it simple. That's what I'm all about. Let's just keep it simple. Just walk or ride a bike or whatever it is that you want. So exercise, and then R is for reading positive things. So uplifting books or whatever it is that you like to read. Reading daily helps. And then S is for scribing, which is basically journaling. And I like to journal at the end of my day. That way I look at how the day went, what worked, what didn't work, what could I do differently? Because I'm all about being solution oriented, right? If you dwell on your problems, you're only going to have more of it.
Exactly.
But if the problem happens, it's here to teach you something. And so it's like, how can you move on from here to the next step?
Exactly. So, Tony Robbins says, focus on the solution, not the problem.
Absolutely. Right. So that's what I do. I look at what worked, what didn't work, and see how I can do things differently.
Great.
Because it is possible to change, but if you don't focus on that, you can't achieve it.
Exactly.
And and then I plan my days the night before while I'm journaling. I just plan my day. So that's part of my visualization. I know what the next day is going to look like. And so I don't have to make decisions the next day. And it's all planned out. Now, life will throw curveballs at you, but you work it in, right? Let's learn to go with the flow. That makes life so much easier. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. So I think we're running to time, and I actually just got a message on my phone that it's running low on battery. So we've talked about, so I don't want to get cut off. So we've talked about so many wonderful nuggets. We covered things that I wasn't even expecting. I didn't even know we were going to talk about. And if you're watching, this is actually the first time that me and Dr. Korsah have talked live in person. We've been friends on Facebook for about a year now, and this is actually the first time we've talked live, and I would love to have you on again. So if you're watching, if you're listening, throw up a like sign or leave a comment and let me know if you want us to do this again and if there's anything else you'd want us to hear. I don't want us to get cut off. So what I really want to do, though, is I would love for you to tell anyone who's listening how they can find out more about you, if they want to work with you as a life coach, as a financial coach. Where can they find out more about you?
So I love Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. So you can find me on MD Work-Life Balance by Nana Korsah, MD, or you can friend me on Facebook by just typing in Nana Korsah. My website, mdworklifebalance.com, has plenty of blogs on different topics that you can access. I also have a free gift on there, which is a PDF guide as to how I went from working 100-hour work weeks to having so much free time where now I can have a business and spend more time with my kids. It's highly recommended. So those are the best ways to reach me, but feel free to PM me anytime. It's been a pleasure being here. I appreciate you. Thanks for putting up with everything that happened with our roller coaster live, but I think the content is good. It's worth watching it, people.
It's great. There's so many wonderful nuggets in here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to put links to, your Facebook and your website in the comments once I post this video. And just thank you again so much for being here. This was so much fun.
You're welcome.
And thank you to everyone who's been watching and listening. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye.